let's go ahead and just get started. And hopefully with this interview, we can brighten it up. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. So you're a rapper from New York, you know, and you know, New York, they're known for bringing out the hottest talent, hottest new artists, and legendary artists from there. And before you even got started into music, you were a top star basketball player.
Yes.
So how did you go? So how did you go from, you know, crossing ankles to stepping on these necks in the industry right now? How did you transfer from that?
I was in college for basketball, and I was one of those broke college students. And I needed money. So one summer that I was home from school, I decided to go and get my bartending license. Right. And once I got my bartending license, I then started working in a strip club as a bartender. Once I started working in a strip club as a bartender, the athletic directors had seen it on Instagram, and they thought that I was a stripper. And instead of me allowing me to like plead my case, they basically like just qualified me as a stripper, and they ended up benching me the season. And then the following season, I was told that I wasn't able to play. So I ended up like just leaving school and going into the strip club full time. Once I started working in a strip club, I was working in a strip club full time for a few years. And I decided like, I feel like I was in a strip club for too long. So that's when I started taking music seriously.
All right. Okay. So with that, you know, you came on the scene in like 2016. I saw that you were working with Cardi B's old managed like producer, SwiftOnDemand. What was that experience like, you know, with him working on, I think, your first project? He worked with you on your first project?
He worked with me on all of my projects. That was pretty dope. You know, me and him was also in a relationship, so it was pretty dope. It's still pretty dope. You know, he's an amazing producer. He's an amazing artist himself, and you know, it's dope.
So the experience was pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about your first project. Was the Diary of a Goddess, right? So how did you get recognized from the UK? You know what I'm saying? Like a UK artist recognized you for, I think you did a remix to one of his songs.
Yes.
How did that feel to be recognized? You know, you in America getting recognized in the UK by dope UK artists.
It was really dope because I felt like that was like one of the artists to co-sign me, so to say. And it was pretty dope because an artist, you know, in a whole nother country that rocks with me like that, I was excited. You know, I did a remix to one of his songs, and I also shot a video to it. And once the video dropped, he definitely supported me, and he still to this day supports me. And that's how I have so many UK fans, because my fan base started over in the UK. I have a few features with artists from the UK, so it was pretty dope.
So it was like working with those artists in the UK. I know our like American style and UK style is, you know, different. You know, they have their drill going on. New York has the drill as well. So combining those two type of cultures together, you know, what was that experience like?
It was pretty dope, and it definitely helped me grow as an artist, and it helped with my sound, with me finding my sound and everything. And I loved it. Like, I loved it. Still to this day, I still have tight relationships with those artists, and I love it. It's dope.
That's good. So let's talk about like going down the journey, like from the beginning, like as far as like your first performance goes. You know, what was that like? You know, because like normal artists, they nervous, they got the shakes and whatnot. So like, what was that experience like with your first performance?
My very first performance ever, I performed at Safari's. It was one of Safari's openings, and I was pretty nervous a little bit, not too much. I don't really get too many jitters when it comes to performing because I feel like I was meant to do this. But it was pretty dope. I performed this fast ass song at the time. Like the song was super fast. Like I was like, and I wasn't even able to breathe to the point to where my voice started cracking, and I still kept going. And everybody was just cheering for me. They was like, yo, this girl's gonna be a star. Like when she get it in pocket, she's gonna be a star. So it was pretty dope. That's how I met so many celebrities like Spice. You know, I looked up to Spice growing up. So it was a dope experience, and I loved it.
Would you ever work with Spice? You know,
of course.
I can see that coming together. Spice is crazy.
Of course.
It's crazy, I swear. So you recently dropped off your single "Friends." Like, what was the inspiration behind it? And you did a video to it as well. So talk about the inspiration behind the song and the concept of the visual.
Well, Friends song, I actually had that hook written for a little bit. I had that hook written in my notes for a minute before SwiftOnDemand made that beat, because every time he made that beat, it kept getting deleted. And so I had that hook written for a few, and then the verses really just came organically. As far as the visual, I've always wanted a visual with a drop top car and everything like that. You know, I direct all of my videos. I'm the one that do all of the placement when it comes to shooting my videos, and it was pretty dope. You know, I had to save my money up to invest into that video because it was very expensive. The car alone, for me to rent a car alone for at least an hour or two, came up to like almost $1,000. So it was pretty expensive. But it was definitely worth it. You know, any artists out there, I definitely recommend you guys to invest into yourselves because it's worth it.
Yeah. And speaking of like artists and stuff, like you're not like new to this game and whatnot. Like, you know, you're growing. Like, I'm seeing your name everywhere. You know, so like as far as like when it comes to, you know, the newcomers that's coming up, you know, and some who may DM you and be like, you know, Kay, you inspired me to start music, you know. How does that make you feel that you can be an inspiration to others who may want to follow in your footsteps in this music industry?
It makes me a little nervous, honestly, because I didn't enter the rap game for me to be anybody's role model. I didn't enter this rap game for me to be anybody's inspiration, because at the end of the day, I'm human. I come from a part of the town where a lot of people are scared to go. So, you know, anybody that looks up to me or see me as inspiration, you know, I definitely take that. I definitely take it, and I'm grateful for it. And that's a lot of the reasons why a lot of things that I do, I think before doing now, because of that, because I have so many youngins looking up to me. And but like, as I mentioned before, like, I didn't enter this industry to be anybody's role model. You know what I'm saying? I entered this industry for me to tell my story, for people to understand my story, and to help those that go through things that I go through. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that looks up to me as an inspiration, you know, just understand that I'm human, and just like your mom or your dad, you know, they do crazy things, I do crazy things too, because I'm human. And it's okay to live and learn from your past mistakes, and don't be ashamed of it.
Right. I think a lot of people, they're ashamed of their past and not realizing that it's a part of who they are. It's a part of how they've grown over the years. You know, your past is a self reflection of how your mindset is in the present now as you're growing as a person, as an artist. I think some people are afraid to make mistakes now because they're in the public eye, and because social media is so judgmental about everything that you do. You know, some people are afraid to kind of just speak whatever's on their mind without, you know, counsel culture coming in and being involved, and then one minute you're counseled, the next minute you're not. You know, so with counsel culture, how do you feel about that? Like, when you see someone being counseled over speaking their mind, you know, does that kind of make you feel like, dang, maybe I don't need to say anything or to step on any toes or whatnot?
Sometimes it does. Like right now, I'm going through a situation, and um, you know, I don't really speak on it, but you know, I allow people to know, like, I'm human. I go through things as well, but people forget that we're human. At the end of the day, people forget that, you know, everybody make mistakes, and because somebody has an opinion doesn't necessarily mean that you have to agree with it. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that the next person is wrong. It just means that you don't agree with something that they agree on. As far as canceling culture, you know, I feel like they try to cancel everybody for any little thing, so I don't really pay attention to it. I said what I said. You know, if I say something, I'm standing on it. And if you're going to cancel me, then cancel me. Because it's a lot of motherfuckers that don't want to cancel me. It's a lot of motherfuckers that still going to look up to me. So it is what it is. You know, you cancel me, and somebody else in another country that might want to book me. So have fun.
At the end of the day, you getting booked and you're gonna be busy. So
Period.
you ain't cutting me no checks. So I don't care.
Right. Period.
So let's talk about the recent EP you dropped, The Arrival. You know, what made you come up with that title?
I wanted people to know that I'm here, all gas and no brakes. My foot is on their necks. I'm not going nowhere. You know, a lot of people keep continuously counting me out. A lot of people don't believe in me. A lot of people still think that I'm trash. I'm not going nowhere. And that was just me stating the fact that I arrived. You know, Big Goddess is here. She's arrived. She's not going nowhere. She's here no matter what. And y'all better get used to it because my name about to be everywhere.
Right. So, still on the EP, what was the process behind it? You know, from the song selections to like the beats to your writing process. Like, what was everything like?
I did like a little summary of the way I wanted that EP to sound. I knew that, you know, we just lost Pop Smoke around that time, so I wanted to do something for Pop Smoke, and I knew I wanted that to be the intro with me talking about Brownsville, the Wolves, Pop Smoke, you know, and showing love to my homies. Following up behind that, I knew that I needed some songs for the ladies, and I know I needed some songs for the men. So I basically I split it up into two. With in the middle of the EP, I gave them a little bit of me and what I'm going through, which was Trust Nobody, a situation that I've been through. So it was more so of, you know, understanding what my fans love to hear, understanding what I want my fans to hear, and then in the middle of letting them know who K.Goddess is, and, you know, letting them know that I'm definitely a versatile artist, that I could still sing, rap, write, do whatever I have to do, and I'm still here.
Yeah, definitely. Trust Nobody is my favorite too. Like it speaks for just everyday life. You know, like a lot of us, we tend to put a lot of trust into people who we think, you know, really for us, but the energy that they perceive to us, it never matches.
Yeah.
So like that's number one thing that I think a lot of people do need to understand. That, you know, sometimes you cannot trust nobody. You know, even if they say you can trust me, I'm here for you.
Never trust nobody.
At all.
For real.
So, you know, without you just being like an artist and a model, you're a philanthropist as well. You know,
Yes.
I saw that you donated 1,000 diapers and wipes to like single mothers and fathers.
2,000.
Excuse me, 2,000. You know, you heard that, 2,000. What was that experience like? You know, like what made you want to do that?
I just felt like, you know, the youth is the future, and at the end of the day, the kids is what matters the most, because the kids grow up to be human beings, you know.
Right.
And when it comes to raising a child, it takes a community to raise a child. You know, I come from that. I come from Brownsville, and when my grandmother or my mother didn't have certain things, they reached out to the community to help. So I've always wanted to give back and help my community, but unfortunately, I just wasn't able to give back. So once I had a chance to make money and it was coming in frequently, I decided like, hey, I'm going to take some of this money and I'm going to give back. I also donated at least 20 to 30K to some of my fans, you know. So I'm big on giving back, because at the end of the day, I come from nothing. I come from poverty. So hopefully one day, if K.Goddess go in the mud, people help me out, you know. It returns, because everything, all the good you do always come back to you.
Yeah, that's like God's blessing. So like for you to do that, I know a lot of people, I know a lot of artists, they don't do that, or if they do it low key. But I always think that it's good that, you know, if you grew up in this town that, you know, that supports you and whatnot, give back to them.
Yeah.
You know, the same love and support that they give you, give back to them. I mean, because that's your blessing in disguise. A lot of people forget that. And speaking of children, I saw that you did something for 10 sick kids.
Yes.
What was that about? Like,
it was me basically just like helping out parents, because there's a lot of children that's still in the hospital and that's sick and everything. So I was just, you know, a lot of parents, once I did the giveaway, a lot of parents was reaching out to me, telling me their situations and what's going on with their children. So I decided to like help them out as well. So yeah,
I think that's dope too. I love the kids. I'm a sucker for kids. So like I think doing anything for the sick kids when they're not, you know, parents not be able to do that, you know, and you being one to actually help out, that is amazing.
thank
You
you.
know, and you're only 23, right?
Yes.
You're 23 years old and you're doing bigger things than people who are
Then your
skyrocketing
favorite
their age,
artist.
you know? So like
Right.
you doing a lot of different things, and I think that is great, because it just shows your character.
Thank you.
You know, it shows that you have a good heart. You're very genuine. You know, I don't know you, you don't know me, but I sense it. You know, I read people all day, every day.
Thank you.
You know, and speaking of more so, like, you know, with the whole George Floyd thing going on, the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff, you did something, you donated with him and Breonna Taylor.
Yes.
You know, everything surrounding around that is crazy, and it's still crazy to this day.